Hey, good afternoon, everybody. How y'all doing? Y'all know who this is. This your boy, Rob Thomas Jr., and this is the real news behind the news. Oh, yeah, man. Today is January 8th, 2026. And I'm going to be real brief in this video because I haven't really had a chance enough to catch y'all up on what's really going on with your government. But it's three topics that I want to hit on real quick so you all can get an understanding of what's really going on. First and foremost, we want to talk about this thing with Venezuela. Now, most of y'all are pretty much 85%, I'm not even going to say 85, I'll say 70% of the people in America watch American mainstream news, which means you're not getting news, you're getting propaganda. Now, you got a lot of people showing how so-called the people in Venezuela, the Venezuelan people are celebrating. No, that's not the case. Again, you're watching American propaganda, which is designed to get you to support that illegal bull crap that Donald Trump just pulled. Let me tell you one of the reasons what's really going on in Venezuela. Right now, let me go back a little bit, digress, and tell y'all what really happened. Nicolas Maduro was sold out by a lot of people who he trusted. The American government basically told these people who sold Maduro out that we're going to come in and we're going to take you all's oil. We're going to come in and we're going to basically take Maduro out. We'll let you all stay in power as long as you all don't go against the grain. So you had a lot of people that Nicolas Maduro trusted that turned their back and let, I think it was 35 soldiers come into the capital of Venezuela and kidnap the president of that country and his wife. Now, one of the main reasons why the United States has done this, pulled this international crime off. This is a crime against the whole international, what's the name of the charter? God dang. Anyway, this is an international crime. What the United States did was basically went in and kidnapped the president of a sovereign country. Now, they tried to talk about, in the beginning, when they were blowing up them boats, they were saying that it was all about drugs. Notice right now, it's all about the oil and taking over that country through a regime change. That's what's really going down in Venezuela. And the main reason why they're basically committing this crime against Venezuela is because the petrodollar is over. No oil-producing country, even Saudi Arabia, who really was helped start the petrodollar. Now, let me break down. The petrodollar is where every barrel of oil in the world, no matter what country produces it or what land it comes from, it had to be sold on the market, international market, for the dollar, which gave America a lot of its riches, modern day riches, you know what I'm saying? Because everybody had to take their oil, whether you was in Saudi Arabia, Russia, Venezuela, Iraq. All these oil-producing countries had to sell their oil for the dollar. When they take it to the international markets, it had to be sold for the dollar. That's where you get the petrodollar. That shit is over. See, every country now that produces oil is selling their oil to whoever they want in whatever monetary denomination they choose. If Russia's selling oil to the Chinese, they're selling it for the yuan or the ruble. See what I'm saying? So what's happening now is that the dollar is crashing, so Trump and his bosses, which is, first of all, his main boss is Netanyahu. Keep in mind, Netanyahu had a lot to do with this because Nicolas Maduro was one of the main world leaders who was in opposition to the genocide that America is helping Israel commit on the Palestinians. Now, what the oil company, what Trump and his backers want is that oil in Venezuela to prop up the American dollar system. Because again, nobody wants the dollar because people are using, the United States has weaponized the dollar by putting sanctions on people. You know what I'm saying? I'll tell you about that because they just seized a Russian vessel yesterday, talking about it was a sanctioned ship, which is nothing more than piracy. They had committed the act of piracy on the high seas when they couple of weeks back they boarded another boat that was coming from Venezuela. I forgot what flag it was flying, but yeah, over in the I forget what but it was coming out of Sweden. The Russian vessel was boarded by United States military, which is gonna be blowback for that, y'all. Putin is pissed. He sent all kinds of submarines to that part of the world in retaliation, but it's gonna be more bigger retaliation. But let me fast forward the story. I gotta get back up here and finish this. This is gonna be part one. I'm gonna just get to Venezuela, then I'm gonna come back and tell y'all what about the Russian ship that was seized and a couple other stories. But now that the dollar is crashing again, the United States needed to get control of that oil so they would have extra resources, oil resources, because what's going to happen next is Netanyahu is getting Trump to literally take us to war with Iran. Now, you might say, how does Iran have anything to do with Venezuela? The United States is going to need that oil that they have confiscated from Venezuela, because when they attack Iran is going to shut down the Straits of Hormuz. That's that part of the country where pretty much 25 to 35% of your oil coming from the oil-producing countries in the Middle East comes through. When the United States and Israel attack Iran is going to shut that motherfucker down. No oil is going to be able to get out or into the Straits of Hormuz, meaning no oil from the Middle East is going to be able to leave that place. See what I'm saying? No ship coming to get oil from the Middle East is not going to be able to come into it. That's going to disrupt the whole world's oil supply because, again, 35% of the world's oil comes through that sea, the Straits of Hormuz. So the United States, by taking Venezuela's oil, is going to have the world's largest proven oil supply on the planet. A lot of y'all probably didn't know that Venezuela has the largest oil reserves under their ground than any country on the planet. So they're going to need that oil to try to offset the oil prices. Even though we have oil in here, we're an exporter of oil too. But the Straits of Hormuz is so valuable to the world's economy that once they attack Iran, because they're going to do it, because Netanyahu told Trump to do it. Once they attack Iran, you talking about gas prices here in America skyrocketing all around the world. Prices for oil is going to skyrocket because you're not going to be able to get oil coming from the Middle East. So it was really a trick. They tricked us, y'all. They're telling you that it was all about the drugs, but in reality, it's the oil. Now, keep in mind, China is pissed because just Friday, the same day that they kidnapped Maduro, the Chinese had just signed a $300 billion oil deal with Venezuela. See what the United States trying to do? They're trying to, since they can't, the sanctions not working against China and Russia, they're trying to destroy those two countries' economy, but they can't. See, y'all got to realize the United States and Western Europe only makes up a population of 5.6 million people. That's half of a billion. Do you all realize that there's 7.5 billion people throughout the rest of the world that hates the United States and no longer wants to have anything to do with the United States, period. So we're sitting here thinking that we're the world's preeminent country when the rest of the world, again, 7.5 billion people have turned against the 500 million people from Western Europe and the United States. So the United States is trying to do everything they can to keep this colonialistic, imperialistic empire going. But it's failing. How are you going to go against the countries that got all the natural resources? China got all the rare earth material. They make pretty much 70% of the goods that we consume in America. China is the biggest exporter of retail goods in the world. China does not need America because they got 7.5 other billion people on the planet to sell their products to. Russia has one of the largest, I think Russia is number 5. The 5th largest oil producer in the world. Russia has pretty much 40 to 50% of the world's grain, which we make our bread and cereal with. Did y'all forget though? We still at war with Ukraine. We are at war. That whole war in Ukraine, forget everything that you heard on the news. That whole war was to weaken Russia by continuing to send weapons to Ukraine. They was hoping that it would pretty much diminish Russia's military strength, but all they did was increase it. Russia now has weapons that we can't even match. We can't even begin to compete with Russia as far as military arsenal. This is why, think about this. Next year's budget for the military, they just announced this yesterday. Trump wants to spend $1.9 trillion on weapons of war. Now, fast forward. I'm going to have to end this. I'm going to have to go back and look. I'm going to upload this because I got to get back up in this house and finish some work. Y'all stay tuned for part 2 because the United States literally has isolated itself with this criminal act of kidnapping. That's all it basically was. Kidnapping in order to take the natural resources of Venezuela. Let me say this before I go. I don't want to offend nobody, but I'm going to call it the truth. You MAGA people who are clapping your hands and cheering on Donald Trump, you all are proving what everybody's saying about MAGA, that you all are some backwards, illiterate ass, racist people. Those of you who support what America has done in Venezuela, especially for the white folks, you all would have been the same ones back at the founding of this country who came from another country and slaughtered the natives in this country and took it over and claimed it for yourself, then went and bought other people from Africa as slaves. Yeah, this is what you all be. Y'all can say you like black people and all that, but if you have this mentality that you think we're so pristine and elite that we can go and bomb Nigeria on Christmas Day. We bomb Nigeria for no reason. We're at war with Ukraine. We're in a financial and just say a pseudo soft war with Ukraine because we are providing the weapons to Ukraine. And did y'all know, just last weekend, they tried to kill Putin. Yeah, they sent almost 200 drones to Putin's place of residence. All of them was shot down. But yeah, even the CIA admitted that they helped Ukraine with that attack. They literally tried to kill Putin last weekend. Keep all that in mind. Now, we're at war with Russia. We're aiding and abetting the genocide in Israel. We're bombing African countries. And now we done went over here and kidnapped the president of another country. I done went a little too long, y'all. I guess this is going to have to be my lunch break. I got to get back on work. Y'all stay tuned to part 2. Like and share this video. Y'all be blessed.